Chapter 4 The Gifts Ulvin opened the small wardrobe, revealing a gleaming suit of armor. He stared at it for a long moment as he contemplated his fate. Glamston said he would defeat the giant. Well, everyone else seemed to believe him, so Ulvin decided he should too. After all, a centaur is never wrong in his predictions. Or at least he hoped they were never wrong. He reached for the armor and laid it down on the table in the middle of the room, then picked up the pieces one by one, adding it to his person. The prince cheered up a little as he imagined the songs and stories that would be told of his success. Did he not wish just yesterday that he would have a tale to tell to his children? Perhaps it was fate, or Aslan, that had sent this adventure to him. His sister, who was a good storyteller, would be the one who would tell the land of how fair Ulvin fought the giant Pyre. A feast would be made in his honor when he triumphantly came home, and no one would be able to call him lazy or a coward again. With this noble deed, he would indeed be worthy to rule Archenland when his father passed on. Another thought came to him, one that caused the corners of his mouth to lift. Lana had said that if he went on a daring quest, he could win the Lady Liln's heart. Well, here he was, going on an adventure that would surely please the lady and allow her to accept his hand in marriage. Lana entered her brother's chambers without knocking, to find him grinning.
"Well, brother, I had been expecting to find you gloomy and wishing this burden on another."
Ulvin glanced up and smiled at her.
"Nay, sister, I am the prince and heir to the throne of Anvard. It is my duty to serve Archenland in any way I can, either by diplomatic means or by sword."
Lana studied him, wondering what had brought on the change of heart. Maybe he had always needed a challenge thrust on him to appreciate the beauty of daring feats. She noticed him struggling to put on his armor.
"Here, let me help you."
She crossed the room and belted his breastplate on.
"Thank you,"
he said, somewhat embarrassed.
"I do not have much practice putting my armor on."
Lana rolled her eyes.
"I know."
She smiled teasingly.
"Your trainer always complains to father that he has to fine you for your lessons."
She handed him his helmet and sword.
"I do not see why he would complain,"
commented Ulvin.
"He always knows where to find me."
He slid his sword in the sheath and tucked the helmet under his arm.
"Will you still be traveling with me, Lana?"
he asked seriously.
I would not miss it for anything."
Her eyes flashed brightly at the prospect of witnessing a battle for the first time.
"Does father know you will be journeying with me?"
"Not exactly,"
Lana admitted, avoiding his reproachful gaze.
"Oh, sorry, father. I suppose it slipped my mind."
he imitated in a high voice. Lana punched him on the shoulder, and Ulvin winced dramatically.
"You know father will not let me go unless he knows at the last minute."
"I am not sure I am comfortable with your plan."
"You worry too much, brother. Now if you are ready, we should be going. Your horse, Destiny, is saddled and waiting for you in the courtyard."
"How fitting."
Ulvin muttered more to himself than his sister.
"I ride on Destiny to battle a giant."
"Most fitting indeed."
Lana smiled.
"You named your horse well."
"What of your mare?"
Ulvin snagged a book from the table and opened the door for Lana. She did not notice the book in his hands.
"I will not be riding Rain today. Instead, I will ride a gelding that is bred for speed. It is waiting alongside yours."
"That is probably a wise idea, as we might have to flee quickly."
Lana smirked.
"I get a lot of those."
"Dear sister, one of these days you will learn a humbling lesson."
She just laughed at him. When they entered the courtyard, a small party was waiting to see Ulvin off. King Jar came to stand in front of him.
"May Aslan go before thee, my son. Remember thy training and our honored guest's prophecy. Thou go with my blessing."
"Thank you, father."
Ulvin bowed at the waist.
"I gladly take your blessing."
Prince Jarin in turn bowed gravely to Olven.
Take care, my nephew. I have something for you.
He handed him a long, sharp tooth.
This is the tooth of the dragon. May it help you and give you strength and courage.
A dragon tooth?
Olven exclaimed.
How did you come by it? Why have you not told me of this before?
That is a long tale that I'll have to wait for another time.
Jarin smiled wistfully.
For now, know that I acquired it some time ago.
Perhaps you can tell me when I return,
he said eagerly.
Perhaps,
Jarin replied. Olven then moved on to Glamston.
My good sir, I wish to make sure you have not made a mistake in your predictions. Are you absolutely certain it was me you saw in the stars?
Glamston shifted his weight to his back legs and smiled, though still maintaining a grim posture.
I did not see you, Prince Olven. The stars foretold that it would be you who defeated the giant. I only read what the stars tell me.
Very well.
Olven reached for his horse's reins, but was stopped by a pale hand resting on his arm. He turned to see the Lady Liln with her escort, Lord Carbon, close behind her.
My lady.
He bowed his head.
Prince Olven, I have something to give you.
He let go of the reins and asked curiously,
What is it, my lady?
Lady Liln handed him a wrapped bundle.
It may help you in your battle against Giant Pyre.
And we all know I need all the help I can get.
Olven smiled weakly at his own joke. The noblewoman did not return the smile. She gazed at him intently, her eyes indecipherable. He looked down uncomfortably and slowly unwrapped the cloth hiding the item in question. A thin reed pipe fell into his hand. He looked up at her questioningly. Lana leaned forward to see what he held. A smile played on her lips.
Ah, I see. My brother will lull the giant to sleep and cut off his heads.
Olven gave his sister a look. Lady Liln laughed.
Perhaps. I am not sure what the reed pipe does. I do know the pipe is enchanted. Aslan himself gave it to my grandfather. He told him, when in dire need, to use the pipe. Neither my grandfather or my father have ever had need of it. I now give it to you.
I cannot accept this.
Olven protested.
A gift from Aslan is a precious thing and should not be given away lightly.
He tried to give it back, but Lady Liln made no move to take it.
It is mine to give to whomever I wish. I gladly give it to you, Prince Olven. May it and Aslan go before you.
She curtsied and backed away from Destiny.
Thank you.
Olven said, feeling overwhelmed.
Thank all of you. I will treasure your gifts.
He slipped the reed pipe, dragon tooth, and book in the saddlebag and mounted his horse. He leaned forward to pat the animal's neck. Lana swung into the saddle of the gelding next to him.
What is this?
King Jar said in alarm.
Olven, why have you chosen your sister as a companion?
She wished it, father.
Olven couldn't quite meet the king's eyes. A deep crease appeared on Jar's forehead.
I promise I will not do anything dangerous.
Lana hurried to say before he could order her down from the horse.
You will not!
King Jar was interrupted by his younger brother whispering in his ear. He did not look pleased by what Jarin said, but relented.
Go if you must, but do not try to aid your brother and engage the giant in battle.
I won't.
She beamed, glad he was letting her go. She wondered what her uncle had said to change his mind.
Take care of your sister, Olven.
I will.
Olven solemnly promised. He nudged Destiny forward into a trot with Lana close by his side. They left Anvard behind and headed for the desert and Tashbaan.